So now guys, we are again inside our TBWA. In this lecture, we are going to test our XSS stored based in the medium settings. So for that, you need to change the security to the medium and now click on submit. Okay guys, so now we are inside the XSS stored. So simply try to enter our last payload here, which was a script alert. Like I'm going to give one script. Just close this. Okay, let me copy this so that I can use it later. Now let's try to run this. So when you try to run this, as you can see that what it is doing here is this is simply filtering our script tag. Okay guys, so this thing is clear that this is filtering script tag. So as we did in the case of XSS reflected, we have simply change our S into capital letter and then try to run that particular that we have run that payload, and that was running very good, and that was running as per our needs. Okay, now let's try that thing again here. Let's see, is it working here or not? Paste, it's DIWA. Okay, so now let's try to make this SS capital. Now hit enter. So when you see what it is doing, it is simply filtering again. So guys, let's see its source code, what it is doing here. So when you see its source code, what it is doing here is this is this is doing same as it was doing in the case of XSS reflected, but let's see something else is there or not. So HTML specific match. Okay. It is also stripe tag and add slashes. It is adding the slashes here. Okay guys, now and this is in case of, okay guys, so what they are doing here is they are simply adding the filter in the place of message body, but in case of name, what they are doing, they are only filtering a script. So now let's try to exploit in the field of name. Okay guys, so now let's try. So this is our name field. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply right click and go to inspect element. So when you go to inspect element, you will see this kind of interface. Okay, so now guys, let me make it zoom so that you can see it, this particular thing in zoomer view. Okay guys, so when you see here, we are currently here. The max input name, text size 30 and max length is 10. So the thing that we need to do here is we need to change this to 100. Okay, because we want to enter more characters than 10. So that is why for the convenience, I just change 10 to the 100. So now let's try to exploit this. So how we can do that? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply, okay, this is also filtering a script. So I'm going to okay, let me paste it here. Okay, now let's change S to capital and S to capital. Okay, now either here, hello. So now let's try to run this. So when you hit enter, you will see this is doing as per our requirement. That means it is taking our input and it is simply executing it on the server level. Whenever we will get back to this, we will have the same error. So now let's try to get back again to it, and it will give you an error like this. So this is how you can exploit it in case of medium by just using the inspect element and you cannot, when you have the choice that you are having two fields and one field is restricted by the characters and other field is restricted by the slashes. So what you can do here is you can simply use inspect element in place of the character case. Okay, so now let's try to see what it is inside the high security. So now click on submit. So when you click on submit, let's get back to stored based. So when you see the resources, so now let's try to run that particular command that we did in the case of medium. So for that, just okay, let me go back to our inspect element. So when you go back to our inspect element, we need to change it again. Okay, just double click here, you will see this thing 100. Now hit enter. So 100, now I will be able to enter our command. So now let's try to exploit this. Let's see, is it working or not in case of this. Hello, now hit enter. So when you hit enter, you can see here what it is doing here is this is simply changing our all the things inside, with the help of script. Okay, it is adding these many characters in between these things so that it cannot be run. Okay guys, so now let's see its view source. So when you make it zoom, as you can see, let's see in the name, it is text message. As we all know that inside message they are doing the same as they did in the last medium, but the same thing they are also doing in the case of name also. They are simply adding the slashes and they are simply real escape string. What they are doing, they are changing in the case, they are changing in HTML special characters whatever we have entered there. Okay guys, so this is how it works in case of hide. That is why we are not able to exploit this. So this is guys how you can simply exploit access as reflected and access as stored base. So this was all for this lecture. I hope you guys understand it, how it's all work, and thank you for watching this lecture.